that like moment of fear of like no one can do it as good as me. At the same time, like we didn't start our business to be exhausted and to have no blank space to live your life.
Welcome back to Duo On Air. I'm Abby.
And I'm Courtney.
And we're the ex-agency turned entrepreneurial team that puts the Duo in Duo Collective. Our boutique organic marketing agency specializes in SEO, social media strategy, and branding.
We're an everyday pair of business besties / marketing experts obsessed with helping our community learn more about what it takes to run a business.
Which is why on Duo On Air, we're not holding anything back. We're giving you all the info we know about how to grow your business organically so you can be the confident CEO you were made to be.
And how to navigate life as a small business owner.
Whether it's on your own or with your best friend by your side, so grab your coffee
or your mimosa, we don't judge,
and settle in for a quick value-packed episode of Marketing Tips.
Welcome back to the Duo On Air podcast. This is episode number 169. And today we're talking about something that is a little personal to us because we've been on kind of a wild ride the past year and a half. Does that sound about right?
Since we've been building our team? I mean, I'd say a few years, but it's been
like real.
Yeah.
Yeah, the past year and a half.
I'd say committing to it.
Committing.
Yeah,
the big C word. So we went from basically doing all the things to building a team of 6, and yes, that includes us too, over the course of a couple of years. And that includes working with some really amazing contractors throughout the years. And we continue to work with contractors today sometimes too. And it was something that we needed to start because something had to give, essentially. We couldn't do all the things anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of you are either in this phase of business, have been there, and realized you had to start doing something about it. And so that something is delegating, and that's what we're going to be really talking about today is delegating, why it's important, when you might need to do it, how you can start. We have some tips in here later on like how you can start and things that you can start to delegate. But we hit our limit. Like we physically and mentally we couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. I remember, do you remember, I remember having a call with our business coach, Val, and we were sitting down talking with her, and there is no, like, we were having a conversation about basically where we wanted our business to go. And it was kind of like we hit a point where it was like, are we okay with this? Like, is this what we want from our business? Like, do we want to work a little bit and live a little bit, you know? Like, is it like we want hard off days? We don't want to work that much. We want to just we want to have longer wait lists, or we want to just like, it is what it is. We can only take so many projects. And I think we both got off that call, and I think we both looked at each other kind of like, do you feel like this is enough? Like, do you feel like we should stay here? And I think we both, which like, I think Court knows that of me, that I'm always like more to the point that it like kills me.
Yes.
So I definitely need to take a step back at times, but I wasn't sure what Court was going to say. I was like, do you want yeah, like, are you going to want to like stay where we are? Like, do you feel good with like not growing anymore essentially and just like maintaining what we have, or do you want to grow? And I think we both.
Were you sitting there and were you like, gosh, I hope she says grow? Or what were you hoping I said?
I don't know. I think at the time, I don't know. I think it would have been a moment where I would have been like, okay, maybe there's different avenues of our business that we explore. Like, I don't think I ever, like my creative brain, like the version of my creative, which is very different than your version of creative, needs newness. Okay. Like, I think I would get bored if we just maintained what we had. I'd just get bored.
I think I agree. I think because you are like you always want something new. You're looking for something new, something better, something bigger. And for me, sometimes I don't ever think I want to like maintain, unless we get to a point where it's feeling really good. Like, then let's maintain that. But I think for me, I like new things and big things, but I also kind of like sitting in spaces of like, this is working right now.
Yeah.
Like, let's have this work right now.
Yeah.
And then at like this phase of our business, let's try this or whatever. Which I think is good that we have that balance.
Yeah, because I need to slow down sometimes.
I think you need to slow down a little bit more, and then maybe I just need to dream a little bit bigger. I don't know. Sometimes you're definitely more of a risk taker than I am.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. We were kind of talking about that the other day, but I just thought it was like there is no wrong answer. You could be at the point in your business where you're like, I like what I have. I love the hours I work. I have a lot of flexibility. I'm not looking to grow. I'm looking to maintain, and I'm just looking to like be consistent with what I'm doing. And that's great. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Yeah. For us, I think I just feel like there's so much more to do. Like that we haven't explored yet. Like so much more.
I agree with that. I also think we just need to figure out our like work-life balance. I think that's where we fail. Yeah. And I think that's where delegating has really helped us, but I still think we could even delegate.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we're still learning. So if you listen to this episode, like we have gotten so much better at delegating since day one, but we still have so much more to go. Like, we haven't perfected delegating yet.
No.
Just because we have delegated doesn't mean that Abby and I still aren't working late nights, early mornings, weekends, because we still are. So we haven't figured out the magic code for it, but we're getting there. I want you to learn along with us. So
yeah, we're gonna do another podcast episode soon in the future about hiring and making your first hire, and so keep that in the back of your mind because we're not gonna go deep into the weeds on that right now. But we're mainly talking about how you can delegate your tasks. So that doesn't mean it needs to be hiring. It could be contractors. It could be a virtual assistant. It is other people that you're going to lean on to help you. And it's just kind of understanding when you should do that.
Right, exactly. So in this episode, we are going to walk you through kind of like three main things. So first, why delegation is absolutely essential as you grow. Second, what kinds of things you can delegate and to who. And third, how to get started even if you don't have a team yet.
Yeah, like kind of what we just said. So let's start with why it even matters, because this is kind of, maybe a jargony, fancy business word, delegation. It's different than scaling and it's different than stalling. And so when you're trying to do everything, which is what happened to us like a couple years ago. We got to the point where we were doing everything. We were burnt out. We had decision fatigue. I would say we even made like some poor choices for what we should do in our business because we weren't thinking clearly. Yeah, clearly long term. Like we were just making decisions that would get us out of the overwhelm that we were in the moment. And that but the
overwhelm still didn't go away.
No.
It was still there.
Because we weren't solving the problem of needing help. Yeah. That was the biggest problem. And so eventually you're going to stop growing because you're going to end up being a bottleneck in your own processes. And that is when you kind of start to realize that you need to delegate. So we've truly lived this. We tried to do everything ourselves. And we're going to talk a little bit about how that moment of fear of no one can do it as good as me, that
that's the hardest thing.
It is the hardest thing. So, but at the same time, we didn't start our business to be exhausted and to have no blank space to live your life and not to have this excitement about your business, because I think the more overwhelmed you get, the more burnt out you get, the less excited you are to grow your business.
The less inspired. I would say too that it's a hard thing to let go of because you feel like you need to be the one working on the client work and touching it constantly and being in communication with your client constantly. And I think what Abby and I struggled with is if we hire a team and our team is emailing the client or our team is doing the meetings with the client and we're just there overseeing everything, right? Making sure things are moving forward, obviously being a part of the really strategic part of it. But I think we're so worried about what if the client isn't meeting with us, or what if the client is getting an email from our team member? What are they going to think of that? We struggled with that.
What are they going to think of us? Right. Are they going to think that we're not prioritizing them?
Yeah. And I think that was such a hard pill for us to swallow. But since we've done it, it's been great.
Yeah. And I think, this is what I think the big difference is when I think of, this is almost going back to our agency life of when I finally had employees reporting into me. I love these people that report into me, and like all I want to do is help them grow and help them like get to that next level. And that is exactly how we feel about the people that work for us in our business now. It's not that the client isn't getting something as good and valuable. That's not true, because your employees and the people you hire that you trust to run in your business with you, they can do that just as well. It's more around you are giving someone else the opportunity to like learn from you and grow from you. And like, it's almost this, it's like a nurturing thing. I feel like when you start to think of it that way, of like, you are helping someone else grow under you into what they want to be and what they want to do. And I think that mindset shift is also super powerful.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We had a team meeting, oh gosh, I don't know if it was like 3 weeks ago or something like that. We got off the call and I sent Abby a message. I'm like, I love our team so much. Like, we all get along so well. We're all such a great fit, and we just have so much fun on those calls, even though like they're productive too, but we also obviously talk life and stuff. It was just so exciting to get off that call and be like, this feels right. This feels so good.
A big part of what we want for our team is not just like checking boxes and doing the work. Like, you're truly part of a collaborative team where we talk to each other. We know what's happening in each other's lives. Like, we just know, like, obviously there's boundaries, but at the same time, like, we just want there to be that like cohesive part of just like working with life and business, and like respecting each other's boundaries, and like learning when you're doing like you need to be uplifted, or when you need like an extra break. Like, just, it's just like humans being humans to each other, you know?
Yeah.
So the cool thing is that when we delegated, our team really stepped up. They shined. Our team loves that. Like, I think that's something too, where the more hands-on you get to be with the clients, like in our case for clients, the more hands-on you get to be with the whole process, and actually like us being transparent about what's happening in our business, how our business is growing, how they're making an impact. Like, that transparency also helps motivate them, and they feel like they're a part of it because they are. And I think that's a big thing, is it's not just Court and I's business anymore. No. It's all of ours. Yeah, so, which is fun.
It's crazy. It's so crazy to think about.
I love it. So delegation is basically what's giving us this freedom, and it's not just time freedom, it's this creative freedom, because there's only so many brain cells you have to leverage for big thinking, creative thinking. And when we're using that up on things that aren't serving us anymore, it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't help grow the business. And shockingly, delegation also gives you financial freedom. And I think this is the hardest thing to trust, but I can tell you that every time we've hired, our revenue has gone up because of it. And every time.
It's the hardest thing to see. It's the hardest thing to trust. It's the scariest thing about hiring or delegating or bringing people on as team members, because you think, oh no, I have to pay somebody now to do work that I used to do. And you automatically think that's money going out the door, because you aren't thinking like, if you have the right team members or the right people under you, that you can bring in more clients, you can bring in bigger clients, you can bring in the right clients. You're
using your creative energy to grow the business now, and the business actually grows because of it. Like, that's the big thing.
Yeah. So the financial freedom there is like, it's so powerful. It's so scary. We get it.
It is.
We were terrified.
We definitely have had a couple slow months with a big team, and that's scary. That's where Court and I are paying ourselves out of like savings.
Yeah.
And it's fine, because we need to prioritize paying our team, and it's temporary, but it was like, wow, we have to trust. And we said that multiple times to each other, is like, I trust what we're doing. I feel really good about it. I know this is just like,
there were days where
a down slope,
ready to throw up, because we're like, wait, is this right? But now looking at us, we are so busy. It's to the point where we need yet another
I know.
So it definitely goes in like waves, but we have noticed that this has given us financial freedom, and it allows us to grow our business the way that we need and want.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of those mindset blocks.
Yes. So the mindset blocks around delegating. So what keeps us from delegating? So if you ever thought no one can do it like I can, because I'm pretty sure Abby and I have also been there. It's faster if I just do it myself. I am that person.
Court is the most guilty for this one.
I literally told Abby, like, no, I can just do it myself. I can do it faster. Like, if I just do it, it'll get done faster. And Abby's like, that's not the point, Courtney.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and then I just cringe and I'm like, okay, I have to let go of this.
Yeah.
And I have, and it's actually like, it has been such a freeing thing for me and really great. But if you feel like I can do it faster myself, I have been there and I have since let go, and it has been glorious.
And here's the thing, you can at the beginning. You can do it faster at the beginning than someone else. But they're never going to be able to do it faster than you if you never give it to them.
Yes.
Like, exactly. You have to transition the process. And your brain power, like your creative reserve is so like special. You need to hold on to that and not waste it on things that don't matter.
Exactly. And if you've ever thought or said, I don't even know what I'd hand off, we have also kind of been there. We felt all of these things. So we hear you, we've been here, but the truth is those thoughts are going to keep you stuck in that hustle mode forever. And that's what we want to try to break free from. It's normal to feel protective of your business. It's your baby. It's normal to be nervous to hand things off. But by handing these things off, you're only going to be a better business owner, because these things can like really drag you down or make you tired or get you in that hustle mode and then burnout mode really quickly. And once you start to delegate, you can really start kind of stepping into those C roles. We've talked about this multiple times in our business, is that we need to step into our C roles within our business and push our business forward and really go after those big things, those dreams. Like, how do we want to build our business? And if you're just in the business every day doing tasks that you can easily delegate, then those things fall flat. They get pushed back, and it's something that you don't focus on. So we're going to reframe delegation. It's not giving up control. It's creating capacity. It's building a foundation for sustainable growth. Again, it might take longer up front to train someone or write an SOP. We just recently started writing SOPs, and they are lifesavers. They are big and take a while, but it's so crucial to every step of every project or everything that you do in your business. So we want you to think of this as like a time investment, one that is going to keep paying you back week after week, month after month, year after year. So it's not giving anything up. It's creating capacity to grow within your own business.
It's also, you know what's funny? Like when we're talking about how your business is your baby. So you oftentimes don't want to give anything up.
Yeah.
So we hold on to it, right? And we do everything. But then we get to the point where we're so overwhelmed and so stressed out that we hire quickly. Because we just need to get it off our plate. We have been there, which is so incredibly opposite of like, my business is so precious to me, I need to do this, versus just get this off my plate, I'm overwhelmed. You want to be somewhere in the middle. You don't want to wait until the point of, I'm so overwhelmed, I need to get this off my plate quickly, because then you hire usually the wrong people. You're not thinking clearly. You are like, you want to hire this person to take care of your baby. Like, think of it that way, right? Like, it's something where you want to take time, you want to interview, you want to check their personality, you want to make sure that you ask the right questions. And then once you do find the person, you want to onboard them with everything you have. Like, you want to have SOPs ready. You want to have email templates if they're communicating with clients. You want to have resources for them to learn your business, a place to even access all your logins. Like, you want to make sure that you have all of these resources ready and that you walk them through processes and workflows and that expectations are there. And if you're hiring quickly because you're so overwhelmed, you're setting yourself up for failure. So don't get to that point. And if you already are there, fight the urge to do it fast and just truly take your time.
Because you'd rather do it right, because by doing it fast, you're only going to hurt yourself in the near future, unfortunately.
Yes. So let's talk about what you can delegate. And one of my favorite questions is, do I have to do it? Like, that's always what I ask myself is, do I have to be the one to do this task? Does it have to be me, or can it be anyone? And so this podcast, this can't be anyone else. Like, this is a task that we have to do. Yes. So for us, this is not something that we can delegate, recording the podcast. We can delegate the editing.
Dana and Heidi, if they want to record.
Yeah. Right. We'll have our team come on and do it. Yeah.
Like, nope.
So there's things like that where, like, if you are showing your face on Instagram, like, you have to be the one to do that. Sometimes you have to be the face of your business in content creation, even if it's not like the highest level thing in your business, you know? So it's asking that question of, does it have to be me? So let's talk about the first bucket that we'll kind of categorize here is admin tasks. So things like inbox management or filtering. Believe it or not, people can actually go into your inbox, categorize things, like prioritize what you need to read. There are like systems in place to help you actually like sort your emails and filter them accordingly, and people that do that. So this is something usually like an executive assistant. There's sometimes people on the sales side of the road that manage your email from a sales perspective too. So there's a lot of different things you can do with inbox management. Just getting help scheduling meetings. This is something that our project manager, Heidi, does for us, and it's amazing. She coordinates times with clients if we don't have a scheduler, and she gets those meetings scheduled. So that part's awesome. And there are still hiccups that we're experiencing. Like, for example, Zoom right now is just a me login. So if anyone else is on the meeting, it can't be Zoom. So we have to, and then we've uncovered that Google Meet, it doesn't matter who joins the meeting. Heidi can set up a Google Meet. She doesn't have to be there, and we can all still join. So it's been something that's been a little bit easier now to like coordinate that. And then we've also been trying to figure out like schedulers and making sure the right people are included. So what we've done in the meantime, and this is something to like, someone can still help even if your process isn't perfect. And I think a lot of times we wait for the process to be perfect and then someone can help, but that like defeats the purpose. So we likely need to get a deeper scheduling tool. Right now we just use the scheduler in Dubsado, and the only like negative to that is you can only have one email tied to it. So we have to have everything go to our hello email address. So that goes to me, Court, and Heidi. But if it's an SEO meeting or if it's a branding meeting, we need our significant like others in that realm to join the call. And so Heidi actually jumps into my calendar and will forward it to Lauren, for example. So then Lauren gets the meeting. So yes, in a perfect world, the process would be that Lauren's already included on it. However, that doesn't happen right now because we don't have that process set up. But right now, Heidi can still help. And she can still help by jumping into the calendar and making sure that the right meetings are on Lauren's. So that, like, Heidi actually is in my inbox all the time. And it's actually kind of nice when she needs a code for, like, verification. She'll just pop in there and grab it and move about her day.
Something, like, came to my inbox from you or something. And I somehow... Wait, I think you were on vacation. And I was like...
I was, yeah.
What's she doing right now? And I pinged Heidi on the side and I was like, were you just in Abby's inbox and like forwarded me something or did something? And she's like, oh yeah, that was me. And I was like, okay, good. As long as it's not
right?
Abby.
Yeah. So it's very helpful. Invoicing, bookkeeping, all of those, like bookkeeping is one of the first things we outsourced because, the second I had to go to QuickBooks versus an Excel doc on my computer, it was like night and day. Like, wow, I don't want to learn this. Like, that was one of the things where, yeah, you sit in your head and you're like, yes, I can learn this, but do I want to? No.
Yeah, exactly.
So we outsourced that. Madison Dearly Bookkeeping has been our bookkeeper for a long time. Her team is amazing. And knowing that every month they are categorizing our books, and that if at any point Court and I need to sit down and look at what like revenue breakouts, expense breakouts, we can do that. Like we don't need to go do work in order to do that. We can just make decisions because we know that that stuff is already done for us, which is awesome. And then file organization. So we actually that's something where
we could be a little bit better at, probably.
I feel like I don't touch them at all.
Yeah, I would
Heidi
say
does all of our file setups.
Heidi does for like a lot of, like, even in Asana, like small things like
Yes.
project resources and stuff like that.
Setting up projects, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of our like drive right now.
Our drive is a nightmare, yeah.
Some love.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's true.
Again, we're not perfect at this, and we're learning too. So.
Mm-hmm. But it is even, and some of these things, so when we think of delegate too, there are certain things that you can just have set up with Zaps. Mm-hmm. Like you can do Zapier. Zapier can set up Google Drive folders the second you have a client sign. So that can be a process that you completely eliminate from like a person, for example. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of things you can do with tools if you can't hire someone. And sometimes, so like these admin tasks, don't worry, we'll put everything in the show notes so you can go grab them. But you can even just ask ChatGPT too of like, okay, how can I delegate this process of me setting up a file every time for a client? Like, what are some ways I can do that? And it's going to give you more examples than just hiring people. Yeah. There will likely be automations that you can leverage if you share like the different tools you're using and how they all work together.
Yeah, absolutely. The next thing bucket is marketing. So how can you delegate some of things in your marketing world? Social media scheduling. We've talked about this in the past a lot too. Just knowing too that you don't have to post every single thing. I think setting some sort of a social media cadence or scheduling for you is super important. Like, okay, my goal is to post twice a week. I'm going to content plan and put it in some sort of a tool like Planoly, Tailwind, or if you've got a VA, they can easily do stuff like this too. So just knowing that scheduling social media posts is something that you could easily dedicate or delegate to somebody, whether it be a person or even using some sort of a tool or a system. Content repurposing. So we like repurpose. I think a lot of people think that repurposing is cheating, but it's not, because people come to you from different channels. So we've got people that follow us on our newsletter, but then we also have people that are on Instagram, and let's like maybe they're not on our newsletter yet, maybe they're new to our Instagram. So they're going to see that content there, whereas our newsletter person is going to see it in the newsletter, and then somebody else is going to land on our website, and it's going to be on our blog, and then someday eventually maybe we'll talk about it on the podcast. That's okay, because people are coming to you through different channels. So repurposing is such a strong tool to do or to use, and it's a thing too that you can delegate. So let's say you have a really strong blog post you wrote. So delegate this to a team member or a contractor. Or, if you can bring in some sort of a tool to use ChatGPT, be like, I wrote this really great blog post. Can you break this down into a carousel Instagram post for me? And just using your tools that are readily available to you. And then formatting blog posts or newsletters. So if you've got some sort of a format for that, or you need a format for that, or newsletters, you can easily delegate that to somebody on your team as well, or contractors.
Yeah. We honestly have outsourced our entire blog at this point. Yeah. Like I still oversee and approve everything, but Eden, from Maven Made, she's been on our podcast before. She's manages our blog, and it's honestly like anytime. So if you're on our email list, anytime you get an update about like, I just sent an SEO squeeze the other day and I talked about how these two pieces of content were maybe a little too close for comfort and how we should maybe combine them. I didn't even have to tell her. She just emails me and she's like, hey, I'll put this on my list and I'll combine these two posts for you.
She does that.
And I was like, beautiful, thank you.
She's so great. Like with our newsletter, she's like, I'll make this into a blog post, or I'll do this. And I'm like, you're just the best.
She's just on it. So it's so nice to know that there's someone who is taking not just doing the work, like the to-dos of like what's included in the contract. Like I think that's when you know you've delegated to someone really good, is when they not only do the check boxes of what they need, but they're paying attention to you and your business and on your email list and engaging with your content and actually hearing what you're talking about and then thinking to themselves, how can I make their lives easier? Yeah. And when you have someone who does that for you, it is such a blessing, because you trust them, and it's taking, like, I guess when you have that trust too, that overwhelm starts to go away. Oh yeah. And the stress of that just like alleviates, and you move towards something else and stress about something else.
Right, exactly. You just shift your stress somewhere else.
You do. So let's talk about client work. So this is specific for service businesses. These are some of the things that we've absolutely outsourced and gotten some help on. Prepping brand presentations, we have a template. When you are swapping out different screenshots, logos, colors, it's just easy updates and you have a template to work from, and that does not need to be Court and I. And when you have a presentation that is done and prepped, it is way easier. Creating mock-ups or formatting final files. So I know this is something like at the end of a brand project, we have so many different iterations of patterns and different colors and logos and submarks and swapping out colors and sizes and all of that, and just being able to outsource that, and not necessarily outsourcing, we are giving it to our brand designer. So having her do that instead of Courtney is absolutely necessary. Yeah, and that was, it took Court a while to let go of it.
When we first hired her, I was saving out assets for one brand, and Abby's like, why are you doing that? And I was like, I think I said because I'm faster. I said, I'll do it faster. And Abby's like, it doesn't matter. Like,
that is what you said, yeah.
Dana to do this because it's something you shouldn't be doing. She's like, why are you doing this? And I was like, just because I'm faster?
Yeah. All those little things, like, yeah, say it takes you less than an hour. That doesn't matter. That's less than an hour you could have spent doing something else to move the business. Like those, and also you have to think of it in terms of like things that break up your day too. So like these little things, yeah, it's not a huge deal for one, but when you have multiple of them, all of a sudden your day is so like chunked up with all these little to-dos that you have to do, you know?
Yeah.
So sending out client emails. So we introduce our team immediately to our client. We create a really good experience for our clients to understand that it's not a negative that you're not just getting us. It is a positive. You have amazing people that are supporting your business, giving it so much attention, including us. And we want you to meet the team and we want you to know the team, and like right from the get-go. So that is the very first email. The second a client signs a contract, we send an email saying, introducing our team and who on your team you're going to work with and who they are. And now, because we've done that, it's really easy for them then to send the emails over of, hey, here's what we're going to review. Here's your first round. Here's what we need next. Here's next steps. And, or here's the timeline. Like all of that kind of stuff is so beyond helpful to know. And it's also like, for me, whenever I'm taking vacation too, I'm like, I know that Lauren's going to be on top of it and she's going to be able to answer clients, and clients are going to email her and feel comfortable asking her for help even if I'm not there. And that is amazing. Yeah.
Such a good feeling. It's a freeing feeling.
It is, for sure. Doing other things like website development or tech handoffs, domain transfers, depending on what type of business you're working in, doing research, competitive analysis. That's something that's huge in the SEO space, and getting the foundation of the research done is a lot of work, but so incredibly important. So that is definitely something that it doesn't have to be me, but we do review it together. So it's not that we're not a part of the process. There's internal reviews so many times along the way where we can then provide a strategic oversight to it, but we're not doing the physical work.
Exactly. The next one is internal systems. Creating workflows and tools like Dubsado or Asana. We have recently set up email workflows for when people inquire with us on our website. We used to actually manually reply to all inquiries, which we really love the personal touch to that, and we struggled letting that go, but we feel like we've made our workflow emails as personal as we can, and we have some fun gifts in there, so we make them fun. But this has really been much more of a weight lifted off of Abby's shoulders because she was a lot of client communication. But it has been so good. At first, I think we almost pulled back. We were a little bit like, I don't know, is this right? Is this okay? But it was the right thing to do. So leaning in on tools like that where you can create workflows and automations is so key. Again, like Abby had to ask herself multiple times, do I really need to be doing this? And she didn't. She would take like literally a full day just to like manage emails, I would say.
Yeah, and I feel like I had it on my to-do list every Tuesday to do like check-ins, which we still do now for proposal follow-ups and like people who are like moving forward with contracts and things like that. Like we still sometimes have to manually do that.
But yeah,
it's different than what it was before. When people would inquire, we'd have 3 different emails that we send out, but I personally would send them all. And that just takes a lot of time. And you know what? Sometimes I was so busy that I didn't get to it. So I might not have followed up for 2 weeks, which honestly could actually hurt you more than the automated stuff, because our automated workflow now sends 3 emails a few days apart. And it's still a very personal experience. It's still like we wrote it. It's not like it's a robot just being like, how can I help you today? Press 1. Like, it's still something that's like very, very unique to us. So that's been beyond helpful. And also reminders before inquiry calls so that you don't get ghosted.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that is very helpful too to automate.
Clutch. Another one, writing SOPs. So we recently hired a web designer and we love her, but we knew that with that process came a lot of work and we really needed to nail that process down. So writing out an SOP for that, for website design, development, UX strategy, all of the pieces that go into building and designing a website, which are a ton, needed to be listed out in an SOP. So we knew exactly what was happening, when it was happening, who was in charge of what phase, and what to for the client, what to expect as we go through that process. So it was, I don't even know how many pages long that SOP was, but it was long. But it was
but we didn't delegate that. I'm bad at delegating. So like SOPs are actually my bad, like delegating part of the process, because I'm like, I know the process so well, like no one else knows it like I know, you know?
Yeah, okay, now you sound like Chris.
I know. But here's the thing. So like the website process was newish. Like we were revising it because we've done websites a number of times. We know what works and we know what, more importantly, we know what doesn't work. And so we wanted the process to be different. And I would say, like, I don't know, so far we're like, I feel like we're knocking it out of the park with this process. It's like beautiful. Yeah. And so, yeah, maybe we should share more about our design process in the future. But we're feeling really good about that. And so Heidi has been in our business for a long time now. And I do feel confident that she could help revise our SOPs for other parts of the process that she is a part of. Yes. And so I think that's something where I probably should. And it's not even that like this person you delegate it to has to do it perfect. It's just that they're getting it started for you and getting like same thing with like brand presentations. And like if someone can get it started, it's oftentimes going to make you have less work to do, and it's going to make the process simpler. It's going to save some creative juice. Like it's going to do a lot of things for you. So it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And then a couple more here. So streamlining onboarding and offboarding. So this might be a tough one because Abby and I clearly needed to onboard and offboard because we are the business. We know the business. We built the business. But now at this phase of our business too, this is something that I can see Heidi like being helpful with, right? Like it doesn't have to 100% be Abby or 100% be me. And this kind of leads into creating templates. So this is something we've also talked about in the past, because when we first started Duo, we created, our business coach Val highly suggested creating templates for things, for emails. Emails is the biggest one I can think of right now, but just creating those.
I mean, we have an Asana template, project template. We have templates for Canva for creative stuff. So yeah, we have templates all over the place for anything you do more than once should be a template.
We have a template for like all of our logins for things. So it's like things like this that even help with that onboarding process is you have all of these templates. Take all of those, give them to the person that you're onboarding, and there you've got like a start to everything too. You're not pulling everything together last minute. You've already got these templates and systems in place, so it's much easier to hand those off if you're onboarding somebody.
Yeah. And then let's talk about a few personal life things. How about grocery delivery, which I'm proud of Courtney for finally signing up for.
I'm getting better at it.
I know.
It's actually kind of dangerous.
It is very dangerous, but it's
really
necessary. Like there are so many times where I'm like, I don't have time to do this right now, but I still want to make sure that I'm eating lunch or, you know, like, and it's not just like meal delivery for every meal, right? It's like actually getting groceries from Target delivered. Exactly. So yes, it's very nice. Childcare. So getting consistent help with that is something that I think I, for a very long time, resisted on the days when I was doing both. And yeah, it's a freeing thing. It's really hard. It's hard you want to be both, but you can't. You want to be good at both at the same time.
I would love to have Mila home a couple days a week, but I would not. I don't think I'd be a good mom or business partner on those days.
It's something where I think it's like you have sometimes these unrealistic expectations of yourself, and it's like there's nothing wrong with like it's leaning into what you want and then accepting the fact that there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's just, I don't know, it's wild.
Hard. It's a mind.
Motherhood is wild.
Yeah.
Cleaning is something we've both outsourced for our house, and that is like having a deep clean once a month for me. Court,
that is like
yeah,
anxiety lifesaver.
yeah, it is. It's especially more so for you. I feel like less. I'm not like clean doesn't give me the level of anxiety it gives you.
Yeah, it gives me a lot of anxiety, and I feel like I need a clean space to work in, or I don't work my best.
Yeah. I mean, I just did the dishes before we did these podcast episodes because we're recording at our house, which is a whole nother reason as to why we're thinking about buying into a co-working space. Yeah. So more on that in the future. And then meal planning. So this is something where there are people that do this, and you also like just getting a meal plan, or actually like people legitimately, I mean, the meal delivery will grocery shop for you, but like the actual, I think that's the funny thing is like sometimes it's like, okay, I'm just going to like ask my husband to go to the grocery store for me. So like I don't have to do it. Asking for help is hard. But then it's like, oh, but in order to do that, I also have to sit down and like plan out what the meals are for the week. And I also have to make sure like, oh, what do we also have that we can use? Like, it's like, oh, some of that needs to go off the plate.
But you do even just small things, like baby steps. Like you do a really good job of making your overnight oats. Like take one meal and like breakfast, for instance, make overnight oats for 5 days a week.
Yeah,
during the
that is what I do.
Like small things like that. If you think of meal planning and you're overwhelmed instantly because you're like, there's no way in hell, like just take baby steps.
Yeah,
do it for one meal every day of the week.
Yeah, overnight oats has been my breakfast lifesaver because
put the recipe link in here.
Yeah, well, not so I order now from Oats Overnight. Like that is the lifesaver because it's like you get a big box. All you have to do is make them, and for the days that I am getting my kids out the door to school, like it is pure chaos in the morning. I can barely get them to eat. Like, well, they do want to eat, but like they take forever, and it's like frozen waffle. We now celebrate car breakfast. That's what we call it.
Ooh.
Car breakfast, and then they get so excited and they eat their breakfast in the car because we're always so late.
Okay, I love that.
Our drive is 6 minutes, and usually we get to school and they're like shoving waffles in their mouth. So that's what we do. But anyways, think of all of those personal life things that are kind of like weighing on you that you can outsource to help, again, give yourself the creative freedom that you want, or just be able to shut it off and be with your family and do the things you want to do after work because you're not worried about keeping up the house or the groceries or anything else. The yard.
Oh my gosh.
A dog poop company, picker-upper.
I feel like this episode's getting really long, but it's great, you guys, so bear with us. We're getting close. So now we're going to take you through how to start delegating without the overwhelm. So we have a few steps here for you. So the first one is auditing your week. So for a few days, write down every single thing you do in your business, every task, every click, every meeting. This probably sounds overwhelming, but if you can write everything that you do and audit your week, you're going to have a much clearer vision at the end of that week, literally everything you do. Because I bet you do so much more than you even recognize or realize that you do in your business. And then you sit down and you ask yourself the same question that Abby has to ask herself all the time. Do I need to do this? Mm-hmm. Second thing, highlight the things only you can do. So basically, only you can do this, and then asking yourself, who else can do these other things? So the stuff that's in your zone of genius, everything else, that's a potential delegation task. Next, pick just one task to hand off. So don't get overwhelmed by all the tasks that you could potentially hand off. You're picking just one. So you don't need to outsource your whole business overnight. That's very stressful. That's not the point of this. You can just start small. Maybe it's scheduling Instagram posts or prepping client folders. Like just delegate one thing at a time and see how it feels, because I bet you it's freeing in so many different ways. The next one, document as you do it. So, you can use Loom to screen record the process, jot down the steps in a Word doc. Once you've created this, you've even created a mini training guide. So it's thinking about not just the delegation process, but when you do these things, they can also be training guides or templates or something that you can use going forward in your business. And then last, rinse and repeat. So over time, you're going to build a rhythm of how to delegate things in your business. Delegation will get easier. It will feel more freeing. And then you're going to start to notice that you've got more of this free time, which brings mental clarity, a sense of momentum again. You're excited about your business. You're starting to step into those C roles in your business because you now have time to really focus on your business and not do those tasks that somebody else clearly can do within your business.
Yeah. So honestly, like once you start doing this, you're going to experience that ripple effect. And it is a little, it's, what's the word for it? Like addicting. Like you just like the second you start to get things off your plate and you realize the like weight lifted off from it, you start to just get more excited about doing that, especially if you trust the person in your business. So like Court said, start with one thing and then you can slowly add more, especially if you're building trust with someone else who you're handing it off to. And you'll just start to experience that you have more time, you have more space. You're not just checking off a to-do list, you're actually growing the business or thinking about those bigger goals. You're stepping into your C-level role. You'll notice that your clients actually get a better experience. It's not worse, it's better because you are giving them more of your attention. You have people who are supporting them in an extension of you. Our team gets more ownership and confidence, and we just finally have this opportunity to grow our business. And it is a really freeing thing. And it is a process. Like it does take time. So we know that this can get scary, and this is your permission slip that you don't have to do it all in order to be a good business owner. You're allowed to ask for help. You're allowed to invest in support. Yes, invest. And you're allowed to grow. So just try to think about those places in your business where you feel overwhelmed and start to think about asking that question. Like, does this have to be you? So we hope that you enjoyed this and just get started on handing some things off your list, okay?
Start small.
Start small.
Do it.
If you liked this episode, please be sure to share it with a friend and subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes dropping every Monday. Plus, if you haven't already, please leave us a review and don't hesitate to share any new episode ideas. We love hearing from you and creating this content for you. See you next week.